All right, listen. Today I'm going to talk about this book, Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And I think it's one of the most important business books. Most people will argue that it's not going to give you tactics that can help you grow your business. It's not going to give you try A, add it to B, it gives you C. But I would say it's one of the most important books because if you're doing something big, if you're really passionate about what you do, if you want to create something, it's going to get really difficult along the way, whether that's right from the start, right before you even open, whether that's 6 months in, a year in, 3 years in, 10 years in. There's going to be a moment when you don't know why you're doing what you do. It's so hard and you're so busy and you're on the edge of burnout and you forget why it is that you had this big dream in the first place. And so I would say this is one of the most important books because if you don't keep coming back to understanding why you do what you do, you're just going to lose that inspiration. You're going to lose that motivation. And that's the reason that most businesses fail. That's the reason that most leaders quit. That's the reason that you stop dreaming. And the most important thing is that you keep that dream alive, is tying it back to why you get up every day. The people that I work with, when I ask them their goals, we go through like, where do you want to be in 10 years time? Where do you see your life? Where do you see your business? Where do you see your dream career? How do you see your body changing? All the things that I work with different clients on. And the next question is, why do you need to do that? And why is that important to you? And why is this something that you need to pursue? Because what you usually say in these big dream sessions and like send these 10-year plans are so big that it's got to be anchored somewhere. It's got to be tied back to something. So I want to start off with just telling you about my why. So I was pursuing becoming a professional athlete. That was my big dream. I wanted to be an NBA player. And I don't know if you can tell by looking at the screen, but I'm 5'9" and I'm from England. So it was a huge dream. Along that road, I had to do all kinds of jobs. But because I only wanted to become an NBA player and I wanted to be a professional athlete, it didn't matter what I was doing. It didn't matter that I was going to 5 different jobs. It didn't matter that I was a landscaper in Arizona. It didn't matter that I was working as a grave digger at one point in Rochester, New York. Like, it was all part of this bigger dream. And I could get up every day and I could work out and then I could go to work and I could do all these things. And it was really hard. And none of that mattered because I knew why I wanted to do it. I wanted to go and play in the NBA, and I want to show kids from England, kids from a small town in England, that it doesn't matter that you're small. It doesn't matter that you're from the wrong country. It doesn't matter that you only started playing when you're 12. You can do it. And I took it as far as I could over my 10 years from coming to America. Then the next thing, when I was working these odd jobs in London, I was also working. I had a psychology degree at this point, and I was working in mental health. And I would meet with clients every day, and I would meet with the most depressed, people suicidal. I would meet with people that, were really struggling. And I was this motivated guy trying to become a professional athlete. And I thought, if anybody can help people who are depressed, it's me. And what I quickly realized was that I didn't have any tools to help somebody that was that depressed. I didn't have any tools to help someone get out of that phase of life once they'd gone down that road. And it was really demotivating for me because I would like take them to the gym. I would start asking about their dreams. I would try and find them their dream job. And like we'd prep for the interviews and then they just wouldn't follow through. And what I quickly started to realize was like, I want to try and find a place where I can help people. And once they're that depressed, there was nothing I could do. I didn't have the skills to get them out of it. But what if I could help people before they get to that point? And 2008, I walked into this CrossFit gym in London. And London's a mean city, right? Everyone's just going to work. The tube is quiet. Everything's quiet. Nobody's talking. Nobody smiles at you. Nobody says hello. It's not a friendly city. And I walked into this gym, and most gyms, everyone's got their headphones on and they're doing their own thing, right? It's London. We don't want to talk. But in this one CrossFit gym, everybody knew each other's name. And it didn't matter where you were from. It didn't matter how much money you had. It didn't matter. Any of the things didn't matter. All that matters was that You were there to do this hard workout. You're going to do it together. And there was a real connection there that it stood out so much more because it was in such a mean city, right? And I was like, this thing is special. And it's not about, to me, it's not about the workouts. You can work out hard a lot of different places. But what they've got here, this community thing, is the thing that is really special. And it's the thing that stood out to me. And it's the thing that made me later on, once, I wasn't going to be an NBA star, which you probably know that by now. It's the one thing that just kept coming back to me, right? Like, you've wanted to help people. You'd want to inspire people. You want to keep people healthy. You want to stop people being depressed. This thing that we have here, surrounded by this really cool fitness methodology, can keep people alive and can keep people thriving and can change people's lives. And so from that moment on, I wanted to do it, and I wanted to open a gym. And I have here from 2016, the core values that I set for what I wanted to open. And the core values were to nurture relationships, to choose happiness, to execute professionalism, to be fearless, and to work harder, right? So I knew that this fitness thing is the best thing there is. Like, I got in the best shape of my life. Anybody that does it gets in the best shape of their life. But what stood out to me was I wanted to nurture relationships. And I saw that everybody knowing each other's name in this place is the most important thing. The workouts are going to take care of themselves. That is the most important thing. And then I realized these places, these communities, as the thing got bigger, can become negative. And that was shocking to me. And I realized, oh yeah, you get a group of people together, it can either be a good place or it can be a complaining place. And I was like, that's not going to happen. We're going to choose happiness. When people come in, I want them to know, like, hey, today is about you getting better. We're going to be happy. So we're going to play. We're going to have fun. We're going to play games. It's not just going to be about, this has got to be a serious workout. That's my bar. That's my grips. That's my pull-up bar. Hey, we're going to do the workout, but we're going to have fun. We're going to have a good time today. And then we're going to have a fun workout. And anything that we really hate, probably not going to do it as much, right? We're going to try and have fun with this thing because your whole day sucks. You've been in the car, you've been in traffic, your boss has been yelling at you, your kids, your wife, all that stuff. Now when you walk in here, let's turn that around. Let's make this the best hour of your day. And how we do that is not just with a workout. It's with you connecting. It's with you having fun. Then a lot of these places are like really unprofessional, right? They just popped up. It was some random guy that loves fitness. And so you wouldn't get an email back. You wouldn't get a response. So I wanted it to be a professional place, right? The next thing that was really important to me, coming from England, being 5'9", wanting to play in the NBA, was like, I want my athletes and I want people to come into the gym. I want them to be fearless. I want them to pursue things that they didn't know they could do. And so my 5 things were I want to increase the quality of people's lives. I wanted to make them harder to kill. I wanted to increase their purpose for why they show up every day. And then I wanted to help people achieve things that they never thought possible. And I set this out 9 years ago now. And along that journey of that 9 years, we've had, at the first, it was just me, right? I knew the core values. Then you got to hire people. And people come in with their own values, right? And so from that, and this is something that, one of my other videos, Why Your Business Will Fail, this is what we look like 10 years later, right? This is our coach's playbook. And if I go to page 1, the introduction, and the main thing is we believe that great people make great coaches. Our goal is to find great people, support their dreams, and guide them towards a career that maximizes their happiness. We strive to provide our coaches with the highest level of professional development and feedback. So one lesson I learned was I used to try and find the best athletes and ask them if they want to be coaches. And what I quickly realized was the best athletes can go to any gym. I was a professional athlete. I can go to any gym in Atlanta and I can pretty much fit in. I don't feel nervous. I don't feel scared. But that's not why I started the gym, right? I didn't start it to just serve the best athletes. I didn't start it to be a professional fitness place. I started it to nurture relationships, to make people harder to kill, and to increase people's purpose. And to do that is not about the best athletes, it's about the best people. So I learned that lesson the hard way. I had one of the best athletes I'd ever worked with in this space, and they didn't understand our values. They thought everybody has to get better at fitness. And I was like, yes, they do. But that means different things to different people. And most people don't just come here to get better at thrusters and pull ups, because you can do that anywhere. You can now, 10 years later, do that in your garage. You can do that at most LA Fitnesses, have all the stuff that we have. But what they don't have is when you walk in, somebody cares that you walked in. When somebody walks in, they know your name and everybody else knows your name. And so every time we veered away from that, or every time we've hired the wrong people or something's gone, that takes the shift away from our why as a group, things have gone wrong, right? And to learn that lesson, it's hard, but it's awesome, because when you come back to why you do it, and this is one of my favorite pages, is the ox, right? The ox is a symbol of strength. And to me, that means a different thing than it means to a lot of people. Like, it's strength to me is how you carry the load of life. It's not how powerful you are. It's not how explosive you are. It's not how good of an athlete you are. It's how you carry the load of life. And to me, like, the 3 F's, fitness is number one. We're a gym, right? Our program is the best program. We spend so much time figuring out the workouts. That's just what it is. It's standard. That's how we do it. It's the best. We put so much time and effort into that. But fun and friendship are two key elements of the 3 F's. Not fitness, fun, friendship. It's across the board, right? And then everything feeds down from that. So we build play into every session. You'll notice that. We want our workouts to be effective, of course, but also we want the experience to be enjoyable. We don't want you to dread coming every day. Then friendship. We know we're stronger together. Our athletes and coaches connect on a deeper level than just community. Every gym says community. I've been to most of the gyms, and I've stood in them gyms for hours and nobody's talked to me. Not even the coach running the damn class. So where that community is, I don't know. But if you're in mine, you're around me, I want to connect. I want to know your goals. I want to know your family. I want to know why you showed up, because I know that we can save people's lives by connecting them to each other. And that's all part of our 3 F's. Just like I said, we're 10 years in, right? I've gone through a pandemic, gone through all kinds of things, but I'm still dedicated to this mission, because I know that over 10 years of connecting people, of giving people a better experience, of pushing people to achieve things that they never thought possible by actually getting to know their goals and not just teaching them about thrusters and pull-ups, that we've saved lives. And when I was working in psychology and I was meeting people for coffee every day, and I was at a full list of clients that were suicidal, all I knew was that I'd stop them from doing anything bad for that 30 minutes that I was with them. Now we've had hundreds, thousands of people come from our program and get fitter, stronger, healthier, most importantly, harder to kill. They've done something crazy. They've done marathons, they've done triathlons, they've done decas now. And another thing that ties back to our why is we started doing decas at the gym, because we don't want you to just get better at doing thrusters and pull-ups in our gym. We want you to do something with it. We want you to see how good you are. I want you to get to a start line and a finish line, get a medal, do something great, because we know that has an effect later on in your life. And so the things that I've gone through over the past 10 years as a leader, and that's what this book is about, If I only knew that I wanted to make money as a gym owner, then it would have closed year 3 when I was building something based on my core values and connecting people together. And the gym became a place that didn't represent my values anymore. Because all I've done is want people to be the best version of themselves. And not everybody wants that. Some people want a place to go and complain. Some people want a place to have a clique of people where they don't allow other people in. Some people want a place that's theirs that is not welcoming to everybody. And I just won't accept that. And I've been through that multiple times over the past 10 years where my core values have become the problem. But I know the value and I know what we do and I know what we continue to do. And I know that that person that doesn't belong in any other gym but is positive and wants to connect can walk into Oxford today, either location, and they'll be greeted by happy people who want to be their friend, who want to welcome them in, who want to get better, and are not just annoyed that they're taking up space away from their pull-up and their workout and their machine and whatever bullshit it is that I've seen over the past 10 years. And without that why, and without tying it back to know that I've got a bigger purpose with Oxford, there's no way I would have kept going. The pandemic, I would have closed day one of the pandemic because over the past 5 years, I've just been trying to get back to zero. But I know I've got a bigger purpose to this. My why is, oh shit, my gyms are needed even more now because most people are online all day. Most people are on Zoom meetings and most people are not important enough to talk on these meetings. So they're sitting in silence on a Zoom meeting all day. And then they go to some shitty gym where they have their headphones and they don't talk to anybody. Oh no, fun friendship and fitness are way more important now than they've ever been. So it doesn't matter about money to me. It's about the mission. It's about why we started. The money's going to come. We're going to keep being successful. We're going to get back to where we were. I believe it because every day when I get up, I know that I'm making people better. I know that over the past 4 months of 2025, more people in Oxford have achieved things they never thought possible than ever before. I'm going to keep that going. So how does that tie back to you, right? That was a long way to say you need to know your why. And most people start with what? This business will make money. This thing that I'm going to do will make money. Great. But why? Because everything that you pursue, everything that you start right now is going to be difficult. And if you don't have a why tied to it, you're going to quit. And 9 out of 10 people quit. And I would argue it's because they don't know why they get up every morning. I should have quit trying to be a professional basketball. I should have quit trying to be a gym owner multiple times along this journey. And I said no. Because I know there's something great on the other side of that. Not just for me, but for the people around me, for my family, for my friends, for my community. I believe that I can have an impact on that, and I'm not going to quit because of that. So you've got to start with why, then decide how you're going to do it, and then decide what that product is. And that's called the golden circle. And most people do it the other way, right? A great example he uses in the book is Apple computers. And Apple computers first started and they put out an ad and they said, look at these great computers we made. And they took it out in like the business journal and they took out a full like 5 pages and they told you everything that the Apple computer could do. And most people read it and then they didn't buy an Apple computer. Steve Jobs got fired, went to Disney, Pixar. Was it Pixar? I think it was Pixar. Went to Pixar and I don't know what. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was DreamWorks or something like that. One of them, right? And started that and started understanding telling stories. And then when he came back, he completely changed what it was about for him. And the new ad was, we break the status quo. We make great computers. Do you want to buy one? And it was, now this computer is for people that think differently. not this is the greatest computer you've ever seen. And that was just a completely different shift in their why. Their why was now like, we want to inspire the world, not look at this chip processor we have. And from then on, Apple exploded, right? And I know most people use Apple as an example, but I just think it's such a clear example of the difference, right? With me, with Oxfit, I do Oxfit because we're really good at fitness, and yeah, it's good. It's a great program. Hey man, if you come to Oxfit, you're going to be happier, healthier, and harder to kill in the next 6 months. You're going to do something, and you're going to have the courage to do something that you never thought you could do. Whether that is just getting through our baseline week, just coming to a DECA, going to a rowing competition, going and doing a marathon, going and doing a triathlon. We got it all coming up. What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? How can this inspire you to be better? And I know if you get a pull-up next week, you might quit your job and go do something better. And I've seen it multiple times. And that's why I love what I do. And that's why I get up every morning. And that's why 10 years in, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to keep making this thing great because we can save lives. And if we make money, that would be awesome. And if you tell your friends, that would be awesome. But it's all about the why. All right. Hopefully I didn't go off on too many tangents, but I love that book. The reason I do love it is because it's not going to give you a tool, but it's going to make you start thinking about why you get up every day. And it's going to get you to a point where you then can understand if that's a business you want to pursue, if this is the career you're supposed to be in, if that's the partner you're supposed to be with, all kinds of things. So Simon Sinek, start with why, build from the middle, then decide how and what you want to do. Have a good day, and I will see you on the next one.